I think everyone has at least one area of their life where they really struggle, where just roadblocks, issues, patterns show up. For some people, that might be money. And I'm talking like serious problems with money, not first world problems with money. Might be family for other people, might be your health, might be your home, might be your job, career. For a lot of people, it's relationships. Relationships are mine. That is the area of my life where I am consistently forced to grow in ways that are really uncomfortable. It is the place where I have the longest string of failures is in my relationships, especially my romantic relationships. As of today, really 6 months ago, but like definitely as of today, I am staring down the barrel of my third failed marriage. I'm in my early 40s. How did I get here without being able to figure out the basics of love and relationships? That's what my ego says. But here's the truth: every relationship has been a stepping stone to a better version of myself. It is where everything shows up, all of my shadow comes to the surface, and I'm able to see so clearly, even if I don't like it, don't want to look at it sometimes. I'm really able to see myself clearly mirrored back in relationship. I have consistently chosen relationships with people that would bring out the pieces of me that are hurting and wounded, and most importantly, where I am attached, where I am deeply attached to an outcome. I would love to be happily married. I believe that would make me really happy. And I have a lot of attachment to the idea of a happy, fruitful, successful relationship, a partnership. And you know what I don't have attachment to? A place to live. Why? Because I travel full time. The result? I always have a place to stay when I need one. I have strangers in every state across the United States offering me a place to stay. People meet me and they go, "You should come live with me." And I'm like, "That's okay. I want to flit and travel." That means when I need a place, like I have for the last 6 months, I have a place. I have a wonderful place to stay. I don't struggle getting a job. Why? No attachment. Don't want a job. If I need a job, I can get a job, but I don't want one. I'm super excited about going in on my business. That's my focus, right? I want to be a spiritual entrepreneur. That's what I am for the last decade and a bit. I don't have a problem with money. I mean, I have first world problems with money, but I don't have problems with money. I always have enough money. I don't have issues there. Why? I'm not driven by money. It's not what drives me in life. Where do I have problems? In my relationships, where I have been deeply attached to an outcome, to what it should look like, to what it should feel like. And after this last relationship where I really did think this was going to be it, that wasn't dumb. It's weird because I'm very intuitive and I'm psychic and I know better. But I had no hesitation going into this marriage. Walking down the aisle with that man was a full body yes. Why? Because he really taught me about attachment in my relationships. Attachment to what it ought to look like, to what it ought to feel like. Attachment to my own shit in relationships, to my own bondage, to the way that I self sabotage in relationships, in the ways that I expect things in relationship. They're not based in reality, but based on my own wounding and my own attachment to my own wounds. It was rough after we got married and things started to unravel quickly. I felt like I was trying to grab all the pieces and put them back together because no, 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 not again. Not again, not again, not again. This has got to be the right one. Come on, I'm 41 years old. I got to get this right. This has got to work. But it unraveled so quickly, I couldn't hold the pieces together and I had to go. And you know what I did though? I did something really different in this relationship that I haven't done in other relationships. When things have unraveled to the point where I got to bail in past relationships, that was the end of it. I detached, I let go, and I moved into the next relationship, usually very quickly. Moving into that next relationship means I was repeating a pattern. It was never the same person. It was never the same pattern. The pattern was my attachment showing up in different forms, in different ways, with different people until I finally fucking saw it. And I went, oh, this is the area of my life where I'm hanging on to an ego story for dear fucking life, and I will not let it go. So what I did this time that was different is I turned back towards my husband and I said, okay, if I'm going to solve my relationship issues, because there is, in fact, one common denominator, I've got to do it inside the relationship I'm in. Even though I felt complete with the relationship 6 months ago, it's like, hell no, we're done. I turned back in and I dove in. And we went to therapy and I learned a lot. And I'm continuing to unravel that. I'm continuing to integrate what I have learned. I didn't go to therapy to save the relationship. I went to therapy because I needed to find out what is going on here. And I used it as a launching pad and a mirror to understand more what was going on inside of my own being and body. I understand what my traumas are. I understand what my habits are, what my patterns are. What I didn't see until now is what my attachment is. And Spirit told me where we struggle the most, where we are learning the most wisdom through our struggle, whatever area of life that is for you, we gain all the wisdom that we require in this lifetime through that avenue the moment we let go, the moment we release attachment to whatever it is, whatever the struggle bus is. So regardless of what we do in that area of our life, how we approach it, we're going to gain the wisdom that area of life is here to give us. We can do it through struggle by holding on as tight as possible, or we can do it through surrender and let it be what it is in our lifetime. And then all the wisdom that we're trying to learn through white knuckling it, we embody it very quickly. Now, letting go is really hard because letting go is not an action. It is the opposite of an action. And you can't try to let go. You just have to commit to it. In 12-step programs, they talk about being willing to be sober. And if you're not willing to be sober, be willing to be willing to be sober. And if you're not that, be willing to be willing to be willing to be sober. And I think the same is true when it comes to letting go and surrendering. Surrendering in the moment is hard because we're attached. And we're attached because we care. We're attached because we hurt. We're attached because we want. But when we let go, when we do surrender, when we are willing to be willing to be willing to be willing, eventually it will simply happen. Because what you've done is made a commitment. Made a commitment to releasing the chokehold you have on that area of life that is causing so much fucking pain and suffering and struggle. And when we let go, we get from that area of life what we actually want. Not what our ego says we want, not what we're attached to, but what our heart desires, our actual human experience is calling forth from that area of life. And then getting into radical acceptance of whatever that is, because it's probably not what your ego wants. That's hard to reconcile. That's hard to let go of. I want to be married. I want to be happily married. I want to spend my life with a best friend. I want to gallivant around this planet with somebody I can laugh with and grow with, and we can be creative together, and we can giggle, and we support each other and love each other, and we're kind and honest and direct and all the things that I want. That's what my mind wants. Until I surrender that idea, I won't get what my heart wants. I certainly won't know what my heart actually wants. And I won't have peace. So that's what I'm working on. And the area of your life may not be relationships. Maybe you're really happily married. In fact, something that I noticed that I really was contemplating yesterday is my son, who is 19 years old, is in a really beautiful, healthy relationship. Every time I see him or his girlfriend, they're always gushing at me about how much they love each other. They've been together like 2 years. They met when they were 18. Like right after they turned 18, they met. They ended up in the same city within 3 weeks, and they met and fell in love and have been going strong ever since. And the way that their relationship is it's deep, it's growth oriented, it's kind, it's connected, it's moving forward in life, it's building something in life. And I look at what my son has at 19, almost 20 years old, and what his girlfriend has, and I'm like, I even though it hasn't been true for me, this is the area of life I have struggled with. My son has watched my struggles, but he's not watched me make the same mistake over and over and over again. He's watched me grow. He's watched me try again. He's watched me get up and move into love again and again and again. However imperfectly, but every relationship has been growth for me. Every relationship has been more understanding about me, about my stuff, about my attachments. And he's watched my trajectory of growth and he has applied that to his relationship. So because I suffer, he doesn't have to. Because I am growing through struggle, because I'm growing through this area of my life constantly and consistently, my son doesn't have to repeat the patterns because he sees me consistently chipping away at the patterns, chipping away at the attachment. And so he innately knows how to do it. And I think that's really powerful, to be growth oriented for our children, for anybody really, to be that example. My ego wants to tell me that I am an abject failure in the realm of relationships, but I'm not, because I just keep getting back up and I keep going in and I keep going in with an open heart. I keep fucking up and I keep apologizing and I keep taking accountability and I keep trying again. And that's what we do. And this time, I'm going to approach things differently. I am going to practice sweet non-attachment, radical acceptance of what is, putting my faith in God's source universe to help me drop my attachment to what I think I want in life out of relationships, my area of struggle, and instead trust that I will receive what I need. And that might not be a relationship this lifetime. And I got to get okay with that. It might be I am my own best friend, my own lover. And that's going to be okay. So where is it in your life? Where's the struggle bus? Where do you keep showing up and feel like you're bashing your head against the wall? I'm telling you, surrender does not mean giving up. Surrender means a great opening. So wherever that is for you, whether it's relationships like it is for me, or whether it's money, or whether it's family, whatever it is, take a deep breath, keep showing up, keep looking for places to let go, to surrender, and watch the wisdom come forth and fill your vessel. Watch yourself become satisfied with the desires of the heart. Remember, the heart is the place where God resides inside of us. This is your God self. Your God self is calling for exactly the love, the appreciation, the respect, the success that you are meant to experience in this lifetime. That is the only version that is going to give you happiness and fulfillment. The one in your head, it's just chasing ghosts, man. You'll never be satisfied with what your mind thinks you want, only what your heart knows you want. And you get access to that through surrender. So let me know what this brings up for you. Where are you attached? Where are you struggling? How can I help you? I love you.